Atheists and evolutionists, I always like to say just atheists, but I always get these comments, oh, you think atheism has to accept evolution? That's not true. Not all atheists are evolutionists. Well, okay, if you take out evolution, macroevolution, from the equation, that only leaves one thing left, atheists. God created. Because man would have to have been made man from the very beginning and always been man, just like Genesis states. That's your only other option. So I laugh my head off when I see these comments. Oh, not all atheists are evolutionists. Atheist doesn't have to accept evolution. We just deny gods. Well, no, to be an atheist, you have to accept evolution, because that is your only way, without God, only way that you get eventually to man. Your only other option, and I repeat and underline the word only, your only other option is man was created man from the very beginning and always has been man and never anything else. And this is admitting God created, just like Genesis states. That's your only other option. Evolution is how you get man without God. So if an atheist is going to deny this, and he's saying man was made man from the very beginning and always has been man. Well, if that's your position, then thanks, because I always knew that Genesis was right to begin with. So atheists destroy themselves with their own stupid comments. But now that we got that out of the way, I want to get to the main topic of this video. The main thing that completely destroys evolution. Now, I call it evolution, and I know you've seen me use that phrase a lot on this channel. Evolution. Because it is pure evil. The author of it is Satan. This idea comes from the pit of hell. But the one thing that destroys macroevolution the most, number one on my personal list anyways, and the silliest, that completely makes evolution look ridiculous, and it exposes it for the fairy tale and religious stupidity that it is this. This is number one. The belief that the sexual reproductive organs came about, as everything else of course, accidentally. A mindless, thoughtless process, stupid process, cannot think and knows nothing, somehow knew that life needs to reproduce or it's going to die out on Earth before it ever gets started. A process would have to know something like this. But we're to believe that it just started creating sexual reproductive organs by itself. It didn't know they were needed, it just started doing it, just for the hell of it. It's funny how something thoughtless that knows nothing is always given life exactly what it needs every single damn time. You have to appeal to intelligence to make evolution even make any common sense. You must appeal to intelligence. Because otherwise you're saying, we needed eyes to see. Accidentally, we have eyes. We needed them in the front of our head. Well, accidentally, there they are in the front of our head. 2 is perfect, and we accidentally got 2 of them. We need feet to walk on. Accidentally, we got those 2. We need arms. Wow, accidentally, we got them also. We need fingers and thumbs on each hand at the end of our arms to grab things. Wow, guess what? We accidentally got them too. Wow, accidents are amazing. They think of everything, don't they? We accidentally got a brain too because we needed to think. We can't even be conscious without it. So that's definitely needed. It controls everything in the body. All its functions, its limbs, everything. So we definitely needed that. Well, guess what? A thoughtless process thought of everything and accidentally gave you a brain too. We needed lungs. Boom! We accidentally got them. We needed a heart. We accidentally got that too. We needed blood so the heart can pump through our body so we can stay alive, carry oxygen through us. We accidentally got that too. On and on and on, one accident after the next, and every accident seems to be exactly what we needed. And the part gets positioned exactly where it needs to be within the body structure. So the heart is not stuck in your foot, or the heart is not sticking out the side of your head, or your face, or your back, or your arm. Everything is positioned right, and everything is exactly what we needed. And on top of this, guess what? An accident accidentally created sexual organs. And it just so happens that both of them are the opposite and they fit each other perfectly. And now we can reproduce. And this was again another accident. There seems to be, in evolution, a hell of a lot of damn accidents happening that give us exactly what we need. Bullshit. and yet we're taught and we're led to believe that this process was a non-thinking, non-intelligent process that knows nothing. It's just a process. And yet somehow it keeps giving us every single damn thing we absolutely need. And atheists have the colossal gall, the ignorance, to sit there and tell me in comments on YouTube and Facebook and everywhere else, oh, I don't see any evidence for intelligence. Oh my God! How can you look at the design of the human body and believe everything was a freaking accident, for God's sakes? Look at the beauty and magnificence of it. Oh my God! Come on, atheists. Come on, evolutionists. And then have the colossal gall to look the Christian in the face, which would take a lot of damn guts, and say, oh, I don't see any evidence at all for intelligence. And oh, God! So that's like looking at a 5,000 piece puzzle, how all the pieces go together, and when they're together, not only that, they form a picture that makes sense and say, I don't see any evidence that intelligence is responsible for this puzzle pieces fitting together and creating the picture. I don't see any evidence at all by looking at this puzzle that tells me intelligence was involved in creating it. I don't see any at all. And the stupid fallacy, the logical fallacy, the stupidity that atheists always come back at me with is, well, we know puzzle pieces are made. We know there's factories that make these. So are you that stupid, atheists? Come on, are you that stupid that you have to see factories and know people are inside making something in order to know that something was created by intelligence? Do you have to really know those things? Are you that dumb? Are you that dumb that you're telling me that the only way you know a 5,000 piece puzzle was put together by intelligence, created by intelligence, was because the only reason why you know is because you know that factories make puzzles. You can go and visit the factories and see people making the puzzle pieces. That's the only way you know? You don't know by looking at the puzzle? Are you telling me that just looking at the puzzle by itself, if you knew nothing else about factories and men building puzzles, absolutely nothing, that knowledge was stripped from your brain completely. By looking at this puzzle, you wouldn't know that intelligence created it? You're telling me that you would look at it and it wouldn't prove intelligence to you? Come on. That's where common sense comes in, for God's sake. Use it. Evolution wants us to look at the human body and all its magnificence and splendor and precision. And it wants us to believe it was an accident. Every part of it just accidentally knew it needed to be there, and poof, there it was eventually. Now think about this. Each sexual organ would have to know what the other evolution was doing on the other organ for the other sex, in order to create something that would fit what the other part was evolving into. Because they have to be two opposite parts that fit together perfectly. They could have easily been two of the same, or two different parts that didn't even fit each other. Do you know how many variations there could have possibly have been that would have been completely useless, that didn't even fit? Come on, man. You're trying to tell me that accidentally the evolution in the female was going on, and it created something that accidentally fit perfectly with what the other evolution was accidentally creating in the male over here. And accidentally, both sexual organs can reproduce, all the functions are there accidentally, it all works accidentally, both sexual organs fit perfectly accidentally, and they accidentally can reproduce. One would have to know what the other is doing. And I'm not the only one who says this or thinks this. Many, many biologists around the world have made the same statements. They don't buy into the evolution bullcrap. Brilliant biologists that do not accept it. People with degrees, not idiots. And they've made the same comments. It is absolutely impossible, they say, for two separate products of evolution and two separate living things to be going on and accidentally create two separate sexual organs that fit each other perfectly. Accidentally. They've even made the same statements. One would have to know what the other was evolving so that they can make sure that they both are a good fit for each other. Oh my God. Another thing to think about too that stops evolution before it even gets out of the starting gate is not only believing sexual organs creating each other for a perfect fit by accident is stupid, but before they were even created, how did things reproduce? Evolution is supposed to take long periods of time, people. I want you to really listen to what I'm about to say and really use some common sense. It takes millions of years, extremely vast periods of time. So the first thing that was ever created, whatever that was, that had to rely on having sex to procreate would have died off long ago before man was ever able to eventually come from it. Because sexual organs would have to be evolved first. So, while we're waiting for the sexual organs to evolve, the species, whatever it would have been that needed to procreate sexually, wouldn't have been able to do so. They would not have lived millions of years until finally their sexual organs evolved on them. They would have died off and it never would have went any further. So which came first? The particular species that needed to procreate sexually, or the sexual organs? You have to have the species that needs to create sexually first, and then from there go and evolve the sexual organs. You wouldn't need to evolve sexual organs on things that don't need to procreate sexually. There's things that don't need to procreate this way. But what I'm saying is, and I'm going to repeat this, so listen carefully again. What I'm saying is the first whatever that needed to procreate sexually would have been initially without the sexual organs, because they now have to evolve after this. Otherwise, you're saying the species that needed to procreate sexually also evolved the sexual organs it needed to do this all at the same time. The species and the organs were both being accidentally created at the same time. What they want us to accept, people, is absolutely absurd. This is stupidity, this is nonsense, this is ignorance of the highest magnitude. And then they have the gall to look the Christian in the eye and say they see no evidence at all for intelligent design. Prove to me God. Show me some proof for God. I don't see any proof for God. Oh my God, people, it's right in front of your face. To think that the male and female organs that are a perfect fit from each other at opposite sexes created themselves accidentally, and accidentally they were the opposites, and accidentally they were a perfect fit. That is the height of stupidity. I would rather believe that Cinderella is real. I would rather believe that Mary Poppins is real and she can fly with her umbrella around cities all over the world. I would rather believe that, because it would be easier to believe that than to believe what evolution is trying to get me to believe. And Aaron Raw is running around screaming, it's a fact, it's a fact, it's just a fact. The only thing that is a fact is that Aaron Raw is ridiculously ignorant. The only thing that is a fact is that Aaron Raw and others like him are insane, mentally. That's the only thing that is a fact. Another fact, it is ridiculous. Another fact, macroevolution is stupid. It is a fairy tale that redefines the definition of fairy tale. It is above all fairy tales. It is absolutely absurd. And with that, I will close this video, and hopefully somebody out there with common sense listened and used some common sense in thinking about this stuff. To see all this and to think all these accidents in our favor don't prove intelligence, think again. Non-intelligent processes don't know what we need. You're not going to accidentally get everything we need that is appealing to intelligence, that proves intelligence, because we have everything we need. Only intelligence would know that we need to create, would know that we need eyes, would know where the eyes should be, would know we need the blood, would know we need the heart, would know we need arms, would know we need fingers, would know we need thumbs, would know we need feet, would know we need legs, and would know where every other organ needs to be, and would know we needed them. Only intelligence would know all of this. This is beyond luck, what they're trying to push on our kids in school here. This is beyond chance. This is ridiculousness. chance is one thing. There's a chance I could get a 5-number combination right if I gave it enough tries. There's a chance I could win the lottery. But a chance of every single thing accidentally coming about that a human desperately needs and accidentally getting in the right place and accidentally the coded information coming out of nowhere to instruct the cells to create these things accidentally is beyond winning the lottery. It is beyond all chance. It is beyond stupidity.